All right, good morning again. Starting right back up on turn one of End in Africa. I really like these games. I think that there is an audience for it. I There just isn't like a lot of content for it, and I don't know exactly what people who are interested in this game would enjoy watching. I feel like the game is more fun to play than it is to watch, but if you do like watching, feel free to leave a comment and any recommendations for anything that you'd like to see or not see. I was thinking of doing like a tips and tricks video. I don't see any of these on YouTube. So anyhow, feel free to leave a comment, like, subscribe, all of that good kind of stuff. I'm enjoying playing this, and I have no problem like just cranking out videos like this because I love this game and I don't mind talking about it while I'm playing it. And I don't know. We'll see if there's an audience for it. There's a few other channels that also play the War Game Design Studios games. Okay. All that being said, I'm picking up right where I left off. I've just moved the 25th Tank Brigade. We're kind of taking up this area in the middle and driving towards Peter's Corner. Something I want to do right now, before I get too much farther, is to go ahead and fire my artillery where I have it available. So that's mostly going to be for Second Corps. And if I look, I usually like to turn on the range indicator just so that I make sure, it just makes it easier to see which artillery fire or which artillery piece I'm actually firing. Now I do have, this is interesting, so this artillery piece has, well, I have the indirect firing rule turned off for this particular scenario. Optional rules, indirect fire, and airstrikes by the map. So basically what this means is that I can only fire at units that my division or other organizational structure can see. Now what I find interesting here is that it doesn't roll up, so that's kind of news to me. And maybe it's news to you too, and maybe it's different for other games, but I'm looking at the 26th Field Artillery. They're part of Varsity, the, what is that, the 9th Infantry? I have my support, or my core unit over here from 2nd Corps. He can spot this unit over here, this German, but I can't fire on it from this artillery piece. So that's just kind of interesting. There's not a lot of damage that I can do here. I don't generally like to shoot at bunkers if I can avoid it, but I don't have any other targets, so I'm going to go ahead and fire at this one because that is where I'm going to be trying to pinch. I do expect resistance up here as well along this road, but in any case, I don't have any other targets, so let's go ahead and rock and roll. I'm going to turn up my speed a little bit here. Action speed up. Okay, good. Got a man. No effect, no effect. This is why I don't like firing at bunkers. Doesn't do anything. It can, but it usually doesn't. So this is my regimental artillery. I've got quite a lot of it. Same target. More regimental. So now I can go over here, and yeah, this is part of the 2nd Corps, so I am going to want to fire this, and that's great. I can see this trench over here, so we'll be able to make good use of these guns. What is their soft rating? 13. So hopefully, yeah, that's a pretty good result. It's the same, yeah. I'm happy with that result. These, I don't see any targets for them. I can fire at somebody. Ah, up here. I can work with that. trying to remember how I positioned all my troops over here. This is the 133rd. Already I'm like, I'm confused about where my guys are. 135th. Do I only have 2 battalions in here? Oh no. I gotta look. Let me fire this right quick. This is the kind of thing that happens when you're playing this game. So this is Red Bull, 34th. First Armored, 34th. And I was looking at the 133rd. Yes, I only have 2 infantry regiments, or battalions, I mean. Okay. I was confused there for a second. Anyways. Keep firing at this up here. I think I'm going to be more interested in the flanks, but I'm not entirely sure. Because I'm not going to have a lot to push in the middle or in the flank here. Well, I don't know. I'm getting some of the first tank up here. I'm probably going to split those guys up. Probably going to split up a lot of these guys. I'll try to move them through here, which is this brush. Again, there's so many times in this game where you're looking at it and you're saying, like, there's dependencies here. Where do I want to shoot? Where do I want my armored push to be? So if I'm tracked, or is it motorized? Armored car, hard half-track, tracked. So tracked brush is only 10, which is great for me because, yeah, okay, great. So I am going to go on and keep firing up here because I'll try. This is dangerous right here, but I'm going to try to. Where's my engineers around here if I have any? Don't really have any. I'm going to try. See, this is rough, and if I want to move tanks through here, tracked, can't do it. Which means that I have to push through here, which means that I'll be assaulting here, assaulting up a hill, which is actually not a bad thing in this game because I remember reading a forum post about that. The assault takes place on the hex with the hill. You don't really take a penalty for assaulting onto a hill. You take a penalty for firing up a hill, and you take a penalty for being the target of fire from a hill, and by hill I mean like an elevation change. Okay, all that being said, let's keep firing artillery at these guys. Good result. Nice disruption. Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to switch targets now. That's my general kind of doctrine with artillery. I don't know if necessarily that's the best way to go about doing it. Sometimes it makes more sense to just keep hammering the same target. In this case, I'm switching targets. I'm going to go ahead. Oh, you know what? I don't know if I'm going to be able to move these tanks through here. We'll see. Okay, I'm going to switch targets. Yes. Keep going. So he cannot hit this same target, so I'm going to switch to this trench over here. He can. No effect, no effect. My 75 millimeter. No effect. Okay. And I think next. Oh, well, I have my core guns over here. So. Or no, this isn't. Yes, this is the core guns. This is the 5th core guns. And I have moved these. So where am I shooting at? Not this bunker, this trench. I would love to get a disruption on this trench. Looks like that won't happen. Okay, and then I know I have more artillery to fire up there. Oops. Yeah, sometimes the artillery dialogue kind of jumps around. That's okay. Keep firing here. 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 Yeah, keep at it. disruption. Nice. Now, here. That was a good result. Another. Okay. I think that's all the artillery from up there. I do have more artillery down here, but I'm not going to fire them just yet. Okay, back to my movement. Now, I was kind of looking here, and I think that the better option for this particular... These recon units, these are all motorized, and what I'm thinking is that they will join the 25th Tank Brigade in punching through to this road, because just looking at it from like a higher level, this is the 4th Infantry Division, and they're simply going to be pushing in kind of, I guess, this direction. Yeah. Kind of. Not really. Okay. So let me just talk through this right quick. So since the 78th Infantry, yeah, the 78th Infantry Division is going to be heading directly towards Taborba. The 25th Tank Brigade will kind of form the border. I always forget what word that is. The linkage between the 4th Infantry and the 78th Infantry, and the 78th Infantry. Well, that's the thing. I guess the 25th Brigade, what I want them to do is move up this road here and kind of keep this general area secure. So that leaves the 4th Infantry. They'll mostly take this road towards Ain al-Askar, and they'll also secure Jebel Kremfir, while the should be the 46th Infantry Division punches through. Right, this area is going to be a bit of a mess. Okay, back to it. My plan. I'm still good with the recon, because, like, what am I going to do? Punch through a bunker with my recon? No. We are going to... Well, I could tuck them in right here. Where can they move to? I want them farther on the flanks here. Okay, yeah. These are paratroopers. I'll have a pretty good amount of support, though. And what I can do, since this is infantry, they'll be able to support at least some of my tanks. And I'll also have, like, these guys can move right up here. Let me just make sure I move the recon first so that I don't run into any traffic jams. Here. Mines. Okay, so we took it on the chin for that. We got to start pushing through somewhere. And I think that this is a reasonable vector. I do kind of want to move these guys to travel mode. I don't know if that would make them any faster. I think that really just counts for roads, so... And hopefully I didn't just block... Nope. Okay, so yeah, we're just running onto the mines. Which is not my favorite, but... it will allow us to engage quickly, at least. I have tanks. The 4th Infantry, where's my 1st Army, 5th Corps, 4th Infantry has a, I believe, a detachment of tanks. guns, 72 guns. What am I looking at here? What are these units? 21st Tank Brigade. Oh, here they are. Okay. So yeah, they've got 2 infantry and 1 tank brigade. Oops. This is so gnarly right here. This pit with all these mines. Okay. Let's see what's right up here. Okay, so similar principle. I'm not just going to rush my AT guns directly at the enemy. I'm trying to conserve those. And I don't want to crash into bunkers if I can avoid it. So that leaves me with some options. I'd like to try to keep my guys together if I can. I'm going to move these recon onto this mine. That will at least allow me to get a flank. Yeah, okay. Let's go for it. So here, I like looking at this. 10th Infantry Brigade, the 2nd Beds and Herts. So maybe, I don't know, Bedfordshire? I've heard that name before. I have no idea what that is. But I've got the 2nd here, and they will be... Nope. We have infantry... 2nd, 10th Infantry Brigade. This is all part of the 10th Infantry Brigade. I don't know how to differentiate. It says the same thing down here. A, 2nd, Beds and Herts, 10. C. Okay. So here's the C battalion. And then... Do I have that right? Beds and Herts. I guess these are the companies. No, these still break down, so... I will not belabor the point. I do want to spend some time in... better familiarizing myself. Duke of Cornwalls. So the Duke of Cornwalls... Are these all Duke of Cornwalls? No, that's East Surrey. They're part of the 12th Infantry Brigade. Okay. I mean, I'm going to try to be a little aggressive here. This is an important area for me, so... Sorry, I'm just sitting here staring at the screen. I'm trying to figure out all the different ways that I want to set this up. I could pin these guys with my tanks, but I don't want to burn up my tanks. Herd. Defense of 12 and 8. Sherman 3 versus the Crusader. Okay. The Royal Fusiliers. Alright, let's move these tanks. That'll free up my space. Still trying to think of all the dependencies. Okay. I'm not running into this bunker in the south. That's stupid. I don't know. Maybe I should be doing that. Okay, same unit here. Good machine gun. We can set them up here to fire directly on this trench while we assault through it. So same kind of question. I mean, I don't have to throw my tanks recklessly. I like where this looks over here to support them. And then I can kind of have a reserve here with the East Surrey battalions. Okay, I think I've got it figured out. These tanks, let's do it this way. I should have moved some of my recon over here to see if there's anything wild with this, but I don't think that there will be. In either case, though, I do want to maybe try to pin this bunker with some of my tanks. I've got more infantry, so like I don't love running at a bunker, but this is an important crossroads and I'm going to have to take it either way. Still, it's going to be easier to pinch it, so... Alright. Tanks. AT gun. Let's just get this out of the way. Get these guys into the brush. Put them here. Same with you. Get them a little bit closer. So, more tanks. Yeah, I have a lot of tanks. Yeah, let's go ahead with it. Got some fatigue there. One thing I'm not entirely clear on is how these Fallschirmjäger can attack me. I don't know if they have hard offense. These do count as hard targets. Yeah. Good news is I get to shoot for the first time. Boop. Now, these tanks here, I mean, like I said, I've got a lot of tanks. I think I'm going to mass them, maybe. I'll mass them, use them to disrupt this battalion here. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to mass them here. Next turn, I'm just going to attack this trench. And I'm going to move my infantry into position. I should be able to support with some machine gun fire. And we're going to try to get a disruption. And we're going to pinch this trench. So I like the way that that looks. For our infantry, I need to move these guys first. AT guns. We'll move you out of the way, please. Move you right here. Interdiction. My headquarters. Now I do want to move these guys into travel mode. I don't know if I can shoot through in this direction. We'll find out. So travel mode. So we'll be able to take you. The only problem is that, like, this is one of those times where I really wish there was like an undo button so that if I could just check the visibility. Well, I can kind of do it that way. Yeah, okay. So if there's units in the way, we won't be able to fire through them. And it means that for this machine gun, if the attack on this trench is going to be coming from like this direction, we won't be able to get machine gun fire. We can get machine gun fire from here, which I could double up on machine guns there. I kind of like the sound of that. Okay. Yeah, and that matches the philosophy. Okay. So it'll take them a little bit to get into position, but I don't know, we might be able to get some support fire before the end of the day. The other option I do have is to move them up here, which is not, I don't hate that idea either. We can fire on this trench and we'll have a clear line of fire. And it does allow me to split up my machine guns and spread the love some. I don't know. I get a lot of analysis paralysis when I play this game, so let's go ahead and take some action. Get these guys moving, move them here, and take them out of travel mode. So, the Royal Fusiliers, your other Royal Fusiliers. Okay, what will I do with my Royal Fusiliers? Well, one thing that I want to consider is also my engineers. Neither of these are motorized, I don't think. No, it doesn't look like it. It has the trucks. So which mines do I want to clear? I'm going to need to clear these mines, but I don't want to necessarily get in on that until I clear this bunker, which will be a little bit. I'm going to go for these mines and these mines maybe. And it means that I'm just trying to figure out where to keep these guys, these Royal Fusiliers. I have like a lot of other infantry, so I don't think it needs to be in this direction. How far can you get? Waste of travel mode. That means that you guys are going to go up here. I want to move these engineers first. And I want to break them down too. I won't need the bridge engineers anytime soon, but they can still clear mines. Okay. We'll have... Okay. Let's move the... Ooh, I'm agonizing. Alright. And I still have these guys, the Black Watch. They're going to be taking up the rear in any case. Okay, let's get this party started. Travel mode. Okay, that, I like the look of that. I like the look of that. I can break these guys down. One to go. I want 2 down here and 2 up here. Good. Move you here. Yeah, like I said, I'm trying not to overthink it, but man, it seems like every decision has so much weight. Bridges up here, I don't really care, because like I said, there won't be bridge crossing for a while. Is that, which is this? 100 and 200, so that is downhill. Is there a way I can keep them uphill? Yeah, I've got to. Oops. Okay. Ah, yes, travel mode. Go. More infantry. Let's get them downhill. The Black Watch will be responsible for keeping this road secure and pushing east. Remember, these guys are going to Ain al-Asqar, so I think the Black Watch will probably kind of follow through. We'll see. We'll see how this moves, but yeah, they're downhill. Okay. Anti-air, we can just move you, let's say right There. Artillery, anti-tank. Oh, these are my divisional anti-tank. There's a lot of them. I will keep them together for now. And what else? My headquarters unit. Put him in town. I've got artillery. I'll come back to that. So that is the 4th Infantry. Good. Oh, I also have my headquarters unit over here. Should move him. Hopefully we won't get an intercept. I like to move them. Okay. Cautiously. Okay. Next up, 46th Infantry Division. Within the 46th Infantry, what unit is this? Yeah, they're also also British. They're paratroopers, but they're British. Okay. 46th Infantry Division. Let's take a look. I really need to keep better track of time when I start the recording here. Excuse me. I don't have a very professional setup, so you can hear me pouring my water. Apologies for that. Assessing the situation of the 46th Infantry Division. So, trench, bunker. Got a lot of trenches up here, and also a lot of, what are these, recon? That's a weak spot. One of the tricks here, this is my motorized, no, armored, 7th Armored Division. Do this right quick. I'm changing the highlights on my notes. I use this kind of, use OneNote, and I use it to kind of color code so I can remember what to call these, and also make any particular notes if I need to pay attention to something for them. So this is, again, one of these situations where I'm looking at the dependencies. It's like, do I want to move 7th Armored and support north at all, or are they just throwing themselves at point Dufas? And I think the answer, well, the further dependency there is that I also have the 6th Armored right behind them. And I think that it would make better sense, like this area is just kind of a mess because like all these marsh tiles, there is this road. I think that this road is going to be pretty important. So I think that, okay, so if I'm philosophizing about it a little bit, I'm going to say that this road between, I guess you could say the 4th Infantry Division and the 7th Armored Division is going to be really important because it means that I can react with the 6th Armored Division kind of as a mobile assault force for anywhere that I sense exploitation or if a attack is getting bogged down too badly. So, all that being said, alright, I have my plan of attack. I've got, well, I don't have my plan of attack yet, but I have my kind of operational orders for this division. Recon in an awkward spot. Let me take a quick look. Hamps. C2414. Okay, 24145. I do not understand the breakdown here. A 1 through 4 Hamps 128. A 5 Hamps 128. 2. I don't know what it means. 1/4 Battalion. 125th Battalion. 128th? And they're all part of the 128th. Sorry, you guys are having to learn with me here. 46th Infantry. So if I look at the 128th, I don't understand it. This naming convention is bananas. Anyways, so just looking at... Alright, so just looking at the 128th Infantry Brigade. Let's look at it from that perspective. Punch through on this trench. I don't like having to do a wedge here, but I guess that the idea would be we would converge here and push. Next up would be the 138th. Well, let's look at the 139th. Ugh. Move my screen so like that. The 139th is going to be lots of mines, unfortunately, though my engineers are right here. So let's plan around that. I have a good amount of engineers, and they can move pretty far. They're already in travel mode, so I wouldn't be able to get them into mine clearing right away. But what I could do is something like this. Break these guys down. No, okay. Oops. I could get them downhill. I still haven't moved any of my guys. I've just been looking. That's just kind of how this game plays. So I'm trying to figure out where up here I want to move them, and I don't want to directly expose them to fire, so I'm going to do it like this. I really want to get one of them up this hill, maybe even two. That would put me in better position to clear. Basically, I'm looking at like this minefield, and this minefield. This particular hill is, oh yeah, that's going to come in handy. So yeah, let me go ahead and get two right up here. I don't see anywhere that I would really want to have a bridge, so let's put them like this. Okay, now infantry. Let me make sure I've got the right borders. Okay, that's the 139th. That's the 138th, and this is the 128th. 139th. Okay, got it. I don't want to commit my recon directly into an assault, but I also don't want to put them up here. What do you want me to do about it? I might just ask my recon to hang back. I don't see any point in having them try and slug it out with an entrenched enemy up a hill. Okay. I'm just going to move them out of the way for now. I'll try to remember to get back to that. This is going to be slow at first. Okay. All right. We've got our 30 Corps d'Armata. Alright, more infantry. And this would be the last of the 128th. Okay. Where can I position my machine gun? I should be able to fire through here, yeah. Okay. That will create a bit of traffic in this area, which is going to be annoying because I won't be able to move my engineers. Let me put them right here. I think that this is the better position. Let me check. Nah, they won't be able to hit this hill, but they will be able to hit this entrenched position. So we'll go for it. That will keep things a little bit clear for my engineers next turn. Okay. Move you here and my... Okay. I like to keep my headquarters in cover if I can. I really hate seeing them get bombarded. Okay. So I'm going to put some infantry up here too. Okay. Again, trying to see where like my border is between my 138th. Do I have that right? Yeah, 138th and 139th. Okay. So here I have some recon troops. I'm just gonna move them out of the way. Same like these guys. Just for a moment. This is broken terrain. And these recon units are on... What do they count as? Foot? I believe they just count as on foot. Broken on foot. I saw my lights flicker. It's raining here. Foot. Broken. 10. Same as brush for foot. Good to know. Clear would be better though. Well, okay, so let's do this. Let's move. Okay. I'm really feeling like this hill is going to be very important to my success here. I don't know, I just got so much infantry. What am I going to do with it all? 139th. These guys are kind of my reserve. Okay, we'll just spread out a little bit, kind of hang back. I could just assault directly into this bunker. I could try it. I mean, I don't love assaulting into a bunker. You've seen how adverse to it I am, but I've got a lot of infantry. Okay, keep moving. These guys can both go straight up. That'll be against the infantry instead of the recon. I don't love this. Let me take a quick look here. I've got engineers. I think what I might want to do is like borrow engineers from somewhere. Move these guys up. There's not a lot of engineers lying around. I do have some, but they're committed, so I would really, 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 yeah, alright, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take the, here's how it's gonna go. So the 6th Armored Division is gonna be my exploitation force. They're gonna kind of wait, I'll move them up to stage as the 7th Armored pushes forward. This road, as I said, is going to be very important because it will allow me to pick my route for the 6th Armored Division. There's just a lot of mines down here as well, but I do have... I've got these engineers. I'm trying to think. So my kind of thought is to use the engineers from the 7th Armored to clear the mines out here and make way for the 46th Infantry. This point here is very tantalizing because these are, well, they're motorcycle troops. I don't know if they're going to be any weaker than regular infantry, but I suspect that they might be. They're not like full-blown recon, but they might be a little bit weaker. They're entrenched, but these mines are blocking my way. So what I can at least do... No, I don't have enough engineers, really. I'm going to need these engineers to get through this railway here, and even if I'm looking, like, I'm going to go ahead, another instance where the dependency is going to be really important. Now these recon cannot get through this rough, but I can at least find out if there's a bunker on the other end. What is my defense value for these? Is both 3. They're both hard targets. These are a little bit faster, and there's less of them, so... Okay. So there's nothing on the other end here, and it means that I want to use the engineers that I have for 7th Armored to clear the mines here and here, which would make way for the 6th Armored if I do choose the eventuality to commit both armored divisions directly towards the attack at Point du Fos. So my little scheme to take out these mines is not going to work, which means that I'm just going to run over these minefields. I could potentially try to move the engineers for the 6th Armored are more abundant, and I could try to move them up, try to take advantage of them. They're in travel mode. There's a road here. Here, look at this. But they won't really get there in time to be effective. They have even more engineers over here and some cool ass looking artillery. A bishop. There's 18 of them. That's cool. 5th Field Squadron. This is just one. So, like, I can kind of use them, but they're not going to be there in time to make the difference for the assault from the 46th Infantry. So again, I'm left with kind of the same conclusion, which is that I'm running over these mines. So that's how this game plays. There's a lot of deep thinking about it and kind of unraveling. There's some philosophizing that basically hex-based war games are essentially very complex puzzles, which is kind of true. So is chess. So is warfare. Every time you roll the dice, things are going to happen a little bit differently. You'll probably get similar results, but you can try different tactics and different strategies. This particular campaign is not super conducive to that, but it's not nothing. Okay, so I'm not going to commit my recon to... Oh, maybe. I don't want to commit my recon directly just like into the teeth of these guys. Let's move around them. These moved? Yes. They'll hop on this minefield next turn, I guess. Here we go. I just going to pile this infantry on here? I want to move these recon out of the way now. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to figure out, because I've got a lot of, if I'm looking at the 46 infantry, I have a lot of battalions. So, like you can see here at the 138th, like the Lincolns, that's 4 battalion, no, companies, I don't know. I guess these guys can be rolled up. Yeah, okay, so these are going to be individual companies. So what I'm doing when I'm moving these is that I am moving the individual companies together. So, okay, yeah. All right, so I'm just going to put the entire battalion onto this minefield. And I'm going to put, all right, great, I've got it. Let's make sure that we optimize our movement. It shouldn't make that much of a difference, especially if I move them with just the company level. So this game has kind of like very specific rules about basically stacking limits and how it affects your movement points. So that wasn't enough. And just out of curiosity, I will go ahead and move these guys down over here. Does it leave me with the same amount of movement points? Yes, okay. Alright, so we're taking some fire. Welcome to the party. Let's get this popping. So we're able to move each of our battalions directly onto these hexes and get ready for a big assault next turn in the afternoon. I bet it was freaking hot. April in Tunisia. They talk about how the ground conditions were no longer soft. So like the ground conditions in this are normal. I guess with a lot of the Tunisia scenarios, you get, I don't have anywhere for these machine gunners to go. Can I put you in travel and have that make a difference? I can't shoot at this bunker. We could move on to this minefield. That would suck because we've been getting shot at from the bunker. I don't really have anywhere for these machine gunners to go. I will move them in travel mode uselessly. Okay. A little bit of cover on the broken, so I'm going to put my headquarters there. And I'll move my AT gun up here. They're not going to do anything. I've got another, this is my divisional arts anti-tank. I don't see any tanks so far. What else? I have artillery. I have more of the light, sorry for my pronunciation, Lightchesters. Which battalion do you belong to? Do I have 3 in here? Which one are you? Yams. Ah, here. Okay, so where's the rest of your unit? Is it just these? Okay. Let's go ahead. These are broken down by company level right now. Oh, I want to get a machine gun up here. I don't really have like a super duper timetable for when I'm going to be pushing through certain areas. I don't know how long it's going to take. We'll find out. Again, keeping my AT guns out of the way. No cover over here, so I'm going to... Yeah, I'll put them up here. That means they'll be able to move into this forest next turn. This is my divisional commander and my anti-air. Put you up here. These are my divisional guns. Nowhere for you to really go right now. If I can get... looking for a place to put him. I'll put him in travel mode if I don't like it. Okay. Alright, and that's the 46th Infantry Division. I'm probably already at like 45 minutes into this video. I've moved 2 units. Okay.